Matt, a deadline day signing, Keiran Phillips on loan from Huddersfield. Just to explain a little bit about why you wanted to bring Kieran to the club.
Well, we needed another attacking body, a centre forward we liked at the start of the season in terms of his last couple of seasons at under 23 level. So in terms of that specific group, certainly someone we've known about for a period of time now. And he's gone and had some loan experience out at Walsall for the first half of the season. Probably been a bit disjointed in terms of the position he's played and the amount of game time he's had, hence why Huddersfield have called him back. But we felt it was the right time to bring him back in with ourselves and back into the level, but hopefully play him centre forward more than out wide.
Actually, I think he played about 15 minutes against us the other week as well. But having someone that's already played at this level this season, that could be really valuable.
Yeah, and he played the full game early on in the season. Played a right of a front three in that game, so he's got experience of the level. He's got experience of Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, a bit more durable in terms of his body. Will understand what's needed in relation to training, and he's fit enough and ready and robust enough to come straight into the group. So certainly a player we're looking forward to working with. We've got to give him the opportunity to show his best game. He's a certain type of centre forward who'll play off the shoulder, and he's a fantastic finisher. So we've got to create for him as much as he's got to create for himself. He's got to buy into the work ethic already installed in the players at the football club. But as long as he hits the ground running, and he'll get every opportunity to do that, then really looking forward to what his impact can be at the top end.
And obviously he's very early in his career as a player. He's made that move from an academy at a championship club into first team football fairly recently. So obviously that's something that fits in really well with him and Exeter City. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we monitor so many loans and so many first loans, and not many first loans go exactly how the player or the club would want them to go, in all honesty. It's something we find with the first loans at a lower level when we loan our young players out in the non-league pyramid. So he'll have learnt a lot about himself and about his game in his first 6 months in terms of senior football, but he's got a good upbringing. He's got a good style about him. He's got a good presence as well. So he should be physical enough to add that to his game as well. But we know why we're bringing him to this football club, and with the not introduction, but with Sam hopefully returning in the next couple of weeks as well. All of a sudden we're +2 in that front unit, which has certainly been bearing in recent weeks on the back of Ozzy's expected operation.
And that leads on to my next question, really, with Sam Nombe. You've got the opportunity to play Kieran on his own, or with Sam, or Sam on his own. It just gives a little bit of cover in that position, especially with Podge as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And an out centre forward, almost a number 9. So we all hope and expect Sam's influence when he comes back in, but he's got to be fit enough to do that as well. And I've said several times he's probably not quite 90 minutes match fit at the moment, and won't be for a little while. So whilst he's getting up to speed in relation to that, we need as many bodies as we can top in the pitch, and bodies who are going to influence the play and contribute, and are a real threat in front of goal. And we feel Kieran fits that bill. So we're looking forward to the time where they're all fit, and I include Oz in that as well. So once he's had his surgery, we hope it won't be too long until he's back on the pitch as well. So it's certainly going to be a stronger attacking unit towards the end of the season. But as a manager, you want them all at once, to be honest with you, and for as big a part of the season as you possibly can. So it'll be certainly an interesting few weeks getting to know Kieran, and getting used to the way we want to work with him. But like I say, as long as his attitude and his character is right, he'll fit him just fine.
And obviously, from a few clips that we've seen, the highlights reel, he looks like he'll add a bit of pace to the side as well.
Yeah, he can move. He's mobile. We've added a certain profile to the team this season in terms of legs, but he's got to have space to work in. And if he's not got space, then he's got to create his own momentum into the game. It was certainly something we found frustrating at the weekend, where we couldn't quite get the ball where we wanted it, let alone regardless of who was at the top end of the pitch. So another body who's got a different skill set to probably what we've got at the moment, and he'll go right into the fold ready for next weekend.
Moving on then, George Ray's departed the club on loan to Leyton Orient. Just to explain a little bit about why that's something that was right for him.
It's a strange one for George, a difficult one, an easy one to explain because he's contributed really well for the first half of the season. Obviously then when the games stopped and he obviously had COVID, I suppose that opened the door a little bit for Sam Stubbs and Czech Diabate. Sam Stubbs we'd waited a long time for in relation to his injury, but then Czech almost came from nowhere in terms of taking he's taking George's position, but taking a position in that back unit and performing so well. So all of a sudden we had 2 more right-footed centre halves than we did first half of the season, and that probably put George down the pecking order in the immediate future. Not to say he wouldn't have got back in, but he showed his desire to go out and play first team football, which is understandable because he's probably not played enough in the last couple of seasons at Tranmere, and got good game time with ourselves first half of the season, and something we didn't want to we didn't want to stop, we didn't want to stand in his way in relation to that. So as soon as he expressed his desire in relation to that, we thought it was the right thing to do. Plus, financially I've been trying to work on bringing in a centre forward to the football club as well. So you're always trying to balance the books as well at XSC, and we felt it was the right thing for George first and foremost, but also for the club.
And I imagine that game time for George when he comes back in the summer, like again, you can reassess where we find ourselves defensively.
Yeah, you would have never known what happened for the remainder of this season. You know, Sam Stubbs might break down again, Czech Diabate might lose his form or pick up an injury. But you're never quite sure in relation to, and the fact that we've got Alex Hartridge and Jonathan Grounds waiting in the wings, so to speak, in terms of centre-half positions, just meant we probably had one too many in that position. Not to say that meant George had to go out on loan, but that was a situation as it stood towards the end of the window. And then as long as he had offers elsewhere, which he did do, and strong offers, which probably reflects how well he'd done for us first half of the season, it was the right thing to do by the player. And we're looking forward for him to get more game time, and hopefully some successful game time, and then come back in a good position at the end of the season.
And finally then, obviously the clock's ticking. There's a few hours left. How's your phone been?
Our phone's been okay today, pretty quiet. Clock's ticking, but I don't expect too much to be done from this point on. You never say never, and it will be on till, is it 11 o'clock or midnight in terms of the cut-off, but we don't think there'll be too much more to be done. We knew what we were after at the start of the window, and we thought we plugged that gap in relation to us, and obviously the subsequent injury in relation to that was such a kick in the teeth, but really pleased to get Kieran in through the door. The loan window out, so to speak, to National League levels and the lower league levels of the non-league pyramid, it will still stay open, so you know there's still opportunity for more players to go out and get some game time in relation to that, but in terms of the rest of this window and the rest of today, I think we're probably going to be done.